Hello, YouTube. It is your boy GZTV back with another video, and we are here to talk about the new. Let me make this bigger a little bit. We'll talk about the new Offset album, Set It Off. Man, pretty solid project here we're going to be talking about. I mean, going into this project, a lot of decent hype going on. You know, some cool features sprinkled through the track list. Offset's a really good solo artist as well. Like, I mean, he definitely needed the Migos fame to get that spotlight, but he is a high caliber artist. I mean, he's really nice. Obviously, Playboi Carti feature would have been nice, and that's the talk of the town when it comes to this album. We got Blueballed. We just got to take that and accept it. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna do track by track, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap it up at the end, give some general thoughts, yada yada yada. Let's go. So getting into track by track, I'm not really going to be editing this video too much. I just kind of want to give my thoughts out to you guys, as informal as it might seem. We're going to start with On the River, the opening track. There are two tracks we're going to skip out on the review. It's Fan and Jealousy with Cardi B, because those were two singles dropped going into the album, and I believe I actually talked about each of those tracks on my weekly track roundup videos. So On the River has a really unique sound. It's a nice little intro. There's not really much to say about it. This video is not going to be very long. I don't think I'm going to talk about this project at a great length. We can just move on to Say My Grace. Insanely hyped up snippet. This is the track that a lot of people were excited about coming into the album. Travis Scott on here is just such a bonus. I mean, Offset does a lot of the heavy lifting, but just having Travis Scott on here is good. I mean, that's enough, man. It's a great track. It's definitely one of the highlights on the record. A lot of people's probably favorite tracks. Travis wasn't necessarily needed, but the beat is super hard, and Travis actually had a really good feature. I can definitely appreciate what he did. So on Worth It, with Don Toliver, this was actually dropped like right before the album came out. Cactus Jack Affiliates on back-to-back tracks is really a nice touch on here. This is definitely more of a Don Toliver track than it is an Offset track. It definitely fits Don's lane a little more. I love Don Toliver's voice. I mean, the Offset flows were great as well. It has a really interesting drum pattern. It kind of sounds like an All Eyes on Me by Tupac type deal. But yeah, Broad Day. We have Future on here too. I didn't even realize it until I looked at the track list. But yeah, Future's on this album too. This is nice. This is a pretty dope release here for Offset. I don't know. Is this better than his first studio album? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Family of Four was a really good album. This sounds like some Detroit shit. It was really interesting to hear how Future would do, but we know how versatile of an artist Future is. He will literally run every fucking track he's on. He's amazing at features. Future is good at features. Yep, I said it. He really is. I mean, he's a legendary trap artist. He's an iconic guy to have on an album. It's awesome. Freaky, man. I mean, of course the song with his wife is titled Freaky. Like, I'm not a huge female rapper fan. I don't want to sound like a misogynist here on YouTube because I could possibly get canceled, even though I don't have a platform necessarily yet to get canceled. But, I mean, it sounds too much like a Cardi B song. This isn't even her album, it's Offset's album, and it sounds a little too much like it would be on like an Invasion of Privacy or an album like that. It is kind of catchy. Offset, you know, saving this could be cool. I was listening to it. He went off, but it still sounds too much like a Cardi B track, and it sounds like, I mean, the bars that people like Cardi B and Lotto and people like Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and Sexy Red and Ice Spice is talking about sex the whole fucking time. I do not like it. It's one of my main gripes with female rappers. It's just the sexual trope that they introduce in every single song. It's like they have nothing else left to say. I don't know. It's interesting, but Hop Out the Van, really interesting, like this marching band beat. I didn't really expect this from Offset. I think this is a cool little touch to put on the album. Really hard track. It's cool, man. He has like this little keyed sound where he's kind of doing a vocal inflection. The flow switch up was cool. I feel like that's got to be a little keyed, but I guess it's not. I mean, there's no listed features, and I feel like out of respect for Lil Keed, he would have listed him as a feature, but yeah, so he could get some like legacy money. I don't know, but Don't You Lie is next. This is actually a really solid, pretty good song, actually. A lot of the track, you got to think of the environment I'm listening to this album in for a second. Like, I listened to like 4 or 5 tracks at home, and the rest I listened to at like a friend's house while they were sitting playing poker, and I was already like tired out of my mind and not looking to be attentive. But I had to grind, man. I had to do it for the channel. So, I listened to this right then and there. I don't know, maybe it would have been a better experience had I been more attentive to it, but yeah. Some of these next tracks, I'm not going to be saying too much. But yeah, I'm On. It's a great track, I think. It's a nice, cool vibe. It's definitely got some quality to it. It's not an amazing track, but I'm On is pretty solid. Big Dog, he's kind of rapping on like this like Gravity Falls loop. Man, I mean, Offset went off here on a couple of these tracks. These are really nice. Night Vision, we have Metro. Pretty cool flows spread throughout. Talking about night vision goggles like we're playing Call of Duty or something. It's kind of funny. The hook is kind of garbage, but the verses are really good, and the Metro boom and beat is obviously never going to miss. That's one of the best producers out right now. Siami, I'm not sure who Mango Fu is, but he kind of sounds like Kodak Black with like a Lil Baby flow. Mango Fu. I feel like I should have like heard of this guy before. I don't know. It's actually not that bad of a song for an artist that's kind of new to me. It's kind of cool, man. Dissolve. You got to kind of sprinkle some mellow songs somewhere in your album. You can't be super intense the whole time if you want to reach that mainstream appeal. And I feel like that's kind of what Offset is doing on a track like this. Is he's kind of slowing down the tempo, kind of having a little intermission. It's not he doesn't have a great voice, but I'll let it slide just because he has some decent songs on this project. Fine as Can Be has Lotto on it. I think this might have been a single, but I just listened to it with the album anyway. I'm really not. I don't look forward to features like this at all. It's fine if Offset carries, like get her like a 30-second verse. This would be an amazing song. I don't think that's how this song went down. I don't necessarily remember how long her part was. It's always about sex. They don't get out much, huh? They just sit at their house and have men come over and have sex with them? I'm so confused. Like, you're not going to rap about, like, rocking a Hermes or bag or, like, some fucking, like, a Go-Yard bag or some red bottoms, or you're not going to talk about the drip. You're not going to talk about the money you're getting. I'd rather you talk about, obviously that's some super generic shit that I just listed off, but I'd rather have you talk about that than talk about, like, describing your fucking vagina the entire song. I'd much rather you talk about that. But yeah, Bust My Watch was really solid. I do like solo Offset on this album compared to when he has features. I think he does really good by himself. I mean, he's always kind of been like that. When he has like a guest verse on a song, it doesn't necessarily feel like his song. I'm not going to go as far as saying that, but he definitely has his own environment, his own aura to him when he's on a song. So Dope Boy, really cool that Nudi's on this album. It's a very catchy song, pretty solid. Young Nudi's feature sounded kind of shaky at first, but he definitely turned it up, and it turned out to be a solid one. So Princess Cut, the start of the beat was absolutely insane. It's got a chill vibe. Chloe's a really good vocalist. I'm not really sure how I feel about her being on an Offset album, but she's a really good vocalist. She belongs on a lot of things, but I don't know about this. Blame It On Set was an absolute banger. It's got that Say My Grace type of energy to it. I feel like this might be another highlight on the album. The piano in the background was incredible. I really like that track. Upside Down is a nice little melodic track. It's not great. I mean, I guess, again, just have your melodic tracks here and there. I'm not a huge fan of it, though. Healthy, Seth is supposed to be a hype artist, man. I don't really like him going in this R&B direction and this melodic stuff. I appreciate changes in directions. I like when artists are experimental, but in Offset's case, I just don't think he is meant to be that type of artist, and that's why this track kind of flopped here. And overall, the second half of the album wasn't that good compared to the first. So let's kind of get in some general notes, my official review, I guess, of this album, wrapping things up. So kind of generally speaking, he kind of had some like Michael Jackson inspiration for this project going into the album. I'm not sure how well that was executed. There was a couple of Michael Jackson-esque instrumentals with that like little drum pattern on the Don Toliver track, and maybe a couple of other little samples sprinkled here and there. But I'm not sure how much he like respected MJ as his favorite artist. I don't know. Some of these tracks though, he sounded like the rent was due though. He was rapping his ass off. He has a lot of passion towards this art, you know. He's been underrated for a minute. I just love his cadence. I love how his verses sound. It's super entertaining to listen to. It always makes for a solid project with at least a couple of tracks you can put on a playlist, you know. I mean, I don't see this project as having replay value. It's a great in the moment project to kind of hold us over until guys like Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign drop, which they're supposed to drop soon. Cardi is supposed to drop soon. I think A$AP Rocky is supposed to drop an album soon. You have Kid Cudi, you have Lil Wayne, you have 2 Chainz, you have all sorts of different artists that are supposed to drop soon. So it's really cool. You know, even Future and JID and Metro Boomin have stuff going. But yeah, it's cool that we have something to kind of like enjoy in the moment. I'm actually kind of impressed with this project. I think it kind of exceeded the expectations. It's a nice little casual listening sesh. I don't really have much to say. I think I'm going to wrap up the video there, though. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want more album reviews, I could have did the Westside Gunn album, but I'm just going to do that as a part of weekly track roundup. That's going to be more like the main event. That's going to be the major thing. This is the last video of the day. I'm going to put these clips together, put it out on the channel, and then I'm going to be listening to the new music. Going to be watching another episode of Ozark for the channel. Yeah, we're on that grind. I probably have to hang out with my friends tonight at like 5 or 6, so I'm trying to get some content out there for the boys. But I'm out. Have a good rest of your day.